Another very important topic, which is very much, I can say, simpler to understand. These are two different concepts which include, these are regarding the physical world. One is microscopic world, and another is macroscopic world. As the words indicate, these are very much clear that what is their domain. So it is dependent upon the size of the system which is going to be experimentally verified, or which we are going to study. So this is dependent upon the domain of physics. So what kind of domain is there? Is it like small particles, tiny particles, which we are going to study, or the huge galactic celestial bodies which we are going to study? So in this regard, there are two types of physical worlds, as I told you earlier about the physical world. So there are two categories. Either that must be microscopic, so we have to, in the advanced physics, we have to deal with the microscopic world. The subject dealing with it will be quantum mechanics. And with the macroscopic, there you will be applying the general theory of relativity and other kind of stuff. So in general, there are two types of physical worlds. One is microscopic physical world, and second one is macroscopic physical world. And microscopic world rather, these include like small particles like, when I say particles, it refers to system, okay? Keep that in mind. Any system, it might be the aggregation of billions and trillions of particles. This can include only few particles, as much as you wish. So system refers to that. So particles having small size, like particles like electrons, protons, neutrons, similarly atoms, molecules, so on and so forth. Because if we go further deeper, then we find there that protons and neutrons are still further. This can be divided into, not exactly divide, these are not the fundamental in nature. These are further made up of quarks. So these are also the microscopic particles. Similarly, the leptons, muons, all these particles, all these, including these as well, these form the category which comes under the physical world called as the microscopic physical world. Okay, so their range, I can say, is less than 10 to the power minus 10 meters. This is not the exact range, I can fix it, that is less than this, but I'm roughly estimating that we include any particle which comes under this category, that is whose size is less than 10 to the power minus 10 meters, or we can say 1 angstrom. This comes under the category of microscopic world. For example, atoms have this dimension, nucleus have the dimension like 10 to the power minus 15 meters, or we can say 1 Fermi. This is the dimension of nucleus, and inside the nucleus the dimension goes further deeper and deeper and further smaller and smaller. All these are studied under the category of microscopic world. And then this means that if we have 1 meter length. I'm giving you the concept about this very thing, how much smaller scale it is. If we have 1 meter length, so we have to divide this 1 meter length into parts. For example, I divide into 2 parts. It becomes half meter. I divide further it into 4 parts. It becomes 1/4 of that part, 1/4 of that part, 1/4 of that meter, 1/4 of that meter. But 10 to the power minus 15 meters is that much smaller part. We have to divide this very 1 meter size into what? 10, 100, 1000, so on and so on and so on and so on and so on, and 15 zeros. That means we have to divide it so much minutely that 10 to the power 15 times we have to divide it. And one tiny portion of that, tiny portion of that constitutes this tiny, smaller portion constitutes this 10 to the power minus 15. So we are dealing with a really microscopic world. So that's why it comes under the category of the microscopic physical world. I must say a physical world. P stands for physical, huh? Keep that in mind. Microscopic physical world and macroscopic. Now dealing about macroscopic physical world. These include the huge stuff, like we can see like this pen in my hand. This is a macroscopic pen. Even the point of the tip of this very pen, this is also a macroscopic because it's observed through the through our naked eyes, I can say. So it comes under the category of the macroscopic world. Similarly, all we can see through our naked eyes. So like we can generally say that, like stars, Earth, planets, other planets, etc. Other planets, all these come under the category of. So the range can vary, which are, I can say that, observable to the naked eyes. But this is not the only condition, because some objects, some systems are there which are macroscopic, but these are not observed to our naked eyes. For example, far distant galaxies. These are, even though they are macroscopic physical world, they constitute the macroscopic physical world portion of the universe, but these are not seen to our eyes, like galaxies. So it is dependent upon its criteria of this criteria of division is based upon size. Galaxies, cluster of galaxies like that, and this include, this size can include even size which is greater than 10 to the power 26 meters, and you can roughly say that this is the order of, I'm talking about the size, order of current size of our current observable universe, of our universe. So this 10 to the power 26 meters is the order of observable universe, I can see, because we know the portion of the universe we know that's known as observable universe, and maybe there might be furthermore a lot to observe which we don't know right now, because some theories suggest that our universe is a tiny portion of a bigger stuff. Maybe it is not established, it's just a hypothesis. So this very portion which we are right now studying, it is called the observable universe. So we are dealing with the huge quantities, huge sized quantities, huge sized stuff, huge sized systems which come under the category of the macroscopic world, and the smaller sized particle systems, these come under the category of microscopic physical world. So both of these will come all the time, will be discussed in physics at different instances. So don't worry about these. This was just a introduction to it. These very two concepts. I don't think that there is so much needed here for further explanation about these two concepts. Why I dealt with these two topics right now, because about the physics is applicable in both the micro as well as microscopic worlds. So that's why. So physics, the domain of physics includes microscopic as well as the macroscopic. For example, right now you must be watching my video over onto laptop, PC or smartphone. Your smartphone. This is also an output of physics. So the applicability of physics, it is very much wide, from microscopic world to the macroscopic world. Your laptop, your smartphones, all this stuff which I am writing upon, these all have some kind of physical laws which are governing it. Like for example, your smartphone, it is connected to a network, which is why you are able to watch a video on YouTube or Facebook or any other platform. So for network, any specific network to connect to your smartphone, there it is needed the electromagnetic waves. How these electromagnetic work, what is the mechanism behind it, that all stuff is discussed under physics. So wherever you will see, wherever your eyes will fall, you can see the physics is applicable there, and the working mechanism behind that very process should be physics, and it should be dealt within the domain of physics. So that's why I call it physics an all-rounder subject, an all-rounder subject. You will come across physics everywhere in your life, no matter what. Hope you got it. I will see you in the next.